Hello, today I will be talking about historian Annette Gordon-Reed. Annette Gordon-Reed is a prolific historian dedicated to challenging the modern perspectives associated with notable members of American history. She works to uncover the hidden histories, hushed secrets, and covered-up stories of the past to provide a more full narrative to the history that we already know. Her writing challenges the way past scholarship evaluates historical figures such as the Founding Fathers, Thomas Jefferson in particular. Gordon-Reed's work is highly decorated. Awards include the Pulitzer Prize for History in 2009 for her piece The Hemings of Monticello, An American Family, which we read a selection of in this class. Gordon-Reed's educational background is very diverse compared to other historians in the field. She first received her BA from Dartmouth College in 1981. Rather than deciding to pursue history, though, Gordon-Reed went to Harvard Law School and received her JD in 1984. She worked as an associate to an international law firm before becoming a law professor. She was a professor at New York Law School in 1992, to which after she worked at Rutgers, and in 2010 she started working at Harvard Law School as the Carl M. Loeb University professor. Writing historical scholarly works started as a passion project for Gordon-Reed. As a child, she loved history. In numerous interviews, she recalled reading a biography about Thomas Jefferson in the third grade, which sparked her continuing interest in the Founding Father. Her works range historical time periods, from the founding era to the Civil Rights Movement to today. But her primary interest follows the very complex figure that is Thomas Jefferson. Her first book, Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings, An American Controversy, was published in 1997. It was a work that redefined the story of Jefferson that people usually think when they hear his name. Gordon-Reed did not write a founder-chic biography, but wrote a more controversial tale about Sally Hemings and Thomas Jefferson's, quote, relationship. Just over 10 years later, Gordon-Reed reevaluated this history to write a microhistory focused on the Hemings family. As history students, Gordon-Reed has a lot to teach us about telling complex and diverse narratives. In her book, The Hemings of Monticello, she explores the lives of the Hemings family both inside and outside of the context of Thomas Jefferson. She takes on Jefferson to question his history with slavery, highlighting the difficult relationship between himself and Sally Hemings. Because Thomas Jefferson has so many aspects to himself as a person, and he is surrounded by the glory and myths of founding fathership, Gordon-Reed discusses him as many parts, uncovering Thomas Jefferson, the author of the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson, the third president, and also Thomas Jefferson, the diplomat to France. And though Gordon-Reed does discuss these more positive attributes to Thomas Jefferson's character, she more than anything discusses his history of being a slaveholder. Gordon-Reed uses fragmented pieces of primary source evidence to tell this story. It's a difficult task because Sally Hemings never left a written account of her life. She uncovers truths about Jefferson as a slaveholder by looking at Monticello's slave records and documents such as memoirs written by Jefferson and Sally Hemings' son Madison Hemings to help share this difficult history. For further reading, I would recommend Annette Gordon-Reed's newest release, On Juneteenth. Published this year, On Juneteenth is a memoir-styled novel that follows Gordon-Reed's personal experiences in growing up in Jim Crow, Texas. She masterfully weaves her own personal experiences into the complex history that Texas holds, especially for Black Americans. The other piece that I would recommend, especially as history students, is writing Early American Lives as Biography, which is a helpful guide to writing biographies in such a way as Gordon-Reed herself. This piece shows how much Gordon-Reed has added to historical scholarship, ranging from stylistic choices, research, and writing to uncover the past. Overall, Annette Gordon-Reed was an excellent historian to evaluate, as her scholarship inspires us to dig further into the history that we think we know to get a more full narrative, just like she does with Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings.